So I was hoping that
Everyone,
he'll be present anyway. Yeah, please start.
good evening, everyone. Now let's start the conversation with consultants, episode 44. Moving ahead, I am Arima Kumari, HR Associate ECR Coordinator of SKNG.
Good evening, everyone. I am Pooja Kumari. I am Pooja Kumari, HR Associates and OD Coordinator of SK Associates Group, and we both are your hosts for today talk. So, and please introduce yourself.
So hello everyone, I'm Nilesh, part of supply chain in the industry, and I'm pleased to be a part of this initiative and happy to interact with you all.
Nice. Moving ahead, the only things that stand between you and your dreams is the will to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quoted by Joel Brown. So this quote I would like to our talk show named Conversation with Consultants with episode 44 of our guest talk series.
Okay, before we begin our talk, so let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research, and development. Human capital strategy and operations, our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dream to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for a change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make the world better place. We are committed to supporting students, entrepreneurs, and make the world better place.
Rima, I think you are on mute. We are not able to hear you. Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for a change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transforms lives, and make the world better place. We are committed to supporting students, entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, networks they need to succeed.
Okay, moving ahead. Now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Neelesh Kumar Mishra, Senior Manager Tata Steel India, to this special event. We are truly honored by your presence today and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with you. We would like to start this interview with our first question for you. Now, your first question is what motivated you to pursue a career in procurement and supply chain management?
Yeah. So thanks for this invitation. I'm equally honored to be a part of this. I really appreciate that how SK Associates has been continuously assisting and helping a lot of new entrepreneurs to come to business and develop their portfolio. Coming to my story, I've been a part of supply chain and procurement for last almost 15 years now. So after passing my engineering, I started working in a plant, steel plant, and I realized that there are some areas where people interact with internal customers or internal people only like production. There are some areas or very few areas where you have liberty to interact with inside plant as well as outside people. Procurement is one of them. Marketing is another one. So I chose for procurement. I worked for 2 years there and then I did my MBA and I realized that procurement is a domain which requires financial as well as technical acumen. So in terms of technical acumen, I was an engineering graduate, and to gain financial acumen, I did my master's in finance. And post that, I realized that now this is the time when I should venture into procurement as a domain. Here, you need efficiency, knowledge, and potential to make decisions on behalf of your company. So this was a very exciting area, very exciting domain, which I realized that a company or a person can venture into. Post my masters, I joined Bhushan Steel, the then Bhushan Steel, worked there for almost 1 year, and then joined Tata Steel. I've been working here for almost 14 years now. So this has been a journey where all the areas related to procurement, supply chain, vendor development, vendor discovery have been part of, and it has been exciting journey for.
Okay, nice. Can you describe a significant challenges you faced in procurement and how you overcome it?
Yeah, so procurement as a function is a support system to production. And when we talk about the basic requirement or how procurement or maybe a plant operates, so we operate at right time, right right quantity, right quality. So procurement is responsible for ensuring availability of material. So this is what actually challenges everybody. So mainly people think that it is more about price that a procurement person deal about, but that's not right. Right quality, right quantity, right price, right place of delivery, because let's say company is operating multi-locational, so the place also make very important, and on time delivery or right time delivery. So these are the main deliverables of a procurement professional. And when we say that these are the deliverables, at the same time, we also understand that these deliverables are actually met through, through the commitment and working professionals' agenda or their style. So a challenge when I say that if material is not coming on time, that's a challenge. If the material is not reaching at the right place, that's a challenge. Right price, company is always, the top management keeps pushing you for buying at the right price. So getting the right price is a challenge. Right quality of the material. So the quality of whatever technical specification we have received from our user end, if we are not getting that, that itself is a challenge. Obviously, the quality, quantity, all these five correct thing is a challenge, and meeting this is the part of a job.
Okay, moving at next question. How do you approach vendor selection and evaluation?
Yeah. So vendor selection is something that that has two parts. So let's bifurcate into vendor discovery part and vendor development part. So when we talk about vendor discovery, it means I have a requirement and I don't have an existing vendor for it. So that's the part when let's say I want to buy something, but there is no shop available, there is no person available to supply that particular thing. So that comes under vendor discovery part. And I'll deal upon this on a separate note that what all we do for vendor selection and evaluation thing. And there comes the second part is about supplier relationship management, or we can say that how once a vendor is available in our system, how we approach to see that whether their quality is correct or not, whether they can supply the materials that we need or not. So there's the evaluation criteria against each vendor. So first thing we do that we evaluate the vendor on the basis of the same five parameters which I said. That are they, I mean, based on their previous history of procurement or based on the customers they are serving, do they have adequate, cash flow in their company for supplying? Then have they supplied the material on time? Lastly, what are their performance? So focusing on their quality, their cost, their delivery efficiency. So these are the basic parameter that we judge before selecting a vendor. And once a vendor is selected or once a vendor is onboarded, we don't give them immediately the entire order. Sometime when we have big quantity, we give 10%, 20% to them for a trial basis, evaluate their performance for maybe 6 months or maybe 1 year. And then based on their performance, we finally give them a go ahead or basically onboard them for a full potential.
Okay. Your next question is, can you discuss a successful project where you implement cost reduction strategies?
Yeah. So there are several such examples where we strategically reduce the cost of procurement. So one of the example which I'll share is related to vendor managed inventory. There was a time when uh, COVID hit our company and we were realizing that there is cash flow related issues. There were not enough inventory available with us, and we were not even having space to, store the material. That was precisely the time when we requested our vendor partners to hold inventory for us. We allocated some space where they can hold the inventory. Vendors also gracefully agreed because the business outside production facilities were down. So let's say you have a shop and you supply to companies, and at the same time you also sell the material in the market. So whatever quantity you have been selling in the market is actually closed. So most of the vendors were having inventory in their shop, but shops were closed. So they were not able to open their shops. At the same time, when they realized that the company is asking for material to be kept in their premises, they gracefully agreed. And what they started, that they started operating on the odd hours. Let's say during the day, our shop will not be open, but we have received consent from government to operate for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours in the evening or maybe late night. So you give us the list of items you want. During the daytime, we will keep the shutter down and we will sort out the material and keep it at one place. And during the evening, we'll make one delivery and we'll deliver all your materials, whatever you need. So this process actually helped us in reducing the inventory. So we from practically maintaining the inventory for 7 days or 10 days, we actually brought it down to 2 days time because we also knew that the vendor is giving daily, deliveries to us, and they are also sharing that this is the inventory they are having right now. And we used to coordinate on regular basis to understand that can they keep more material, can they source material from other cities, what inventory they are carrying right now, and based on that we reduced our whole inventory cycle as well as operational cost was saved.
Okay, great. Moving on, next question. What strategies do you employ to negotiate with better terms with suppliers?
Important question. And yeah, thanks Pujaji. I think this is very important question. And negotiation is something which is a combination of science and art both. So one is we negotiate on the basis of data. So data is where we have previous procurement history available, where we have competition available in the market. We collect quotation from different sources, and we try to negotiate to a best deal. But at the same time, this is also art. Why I'm saying that this is the art? Because negotiation sometime we do in the morning time, sometime we do in the evening. We try to play different strategies that okay, we are not going to give you full share of business, or maybe if you can produce some more price, then we'll give you higher share of business. So these are the strategies that we play because we also don't know what is the cost of manufacturing practically. Some people making the same product at a lower cost, some people making the similar product or the same product at a higher cost. We don't know where to negotiate or how to negotiate. Competition is a fair negotiator in itself. While competition, for example, let's say you want to buy a mobile. So the specification which we receive from our user or maybe the client person is like they want 4 GB RAM, 1 TB hard disk, and screen size, and so Wi-Fi should be there, Bluetooth should be there, camera, good quality camera, or maybe 48 megapixel camera. So these are the specification given by the user to us. Based on these user information, we float the inquiries in the market, and we see that okay, Samsung is also making a similar phone, of the same specification. Oppo or Vivo is also making, Apple is also making. The specifications are almost same. There comes the competition part. The competition comes when the same product or same offerings is being offered by different vendors. So then we make a comparison sheet and we see that okay, battery of Samsung is better than battery of Oppo. We see that the camera of Samsung is better than camera of maybe Oppo. But the price of Oppo is better than price of Samsung, right? So we make a comparison sheet which talks about different parameters, who all are meeting our parameters, and what is the best deal for us. And sometimes we go back to our users, sometimes we go back to our customers and ask that, boss, these are the technically feasible options available to us. Somebody says that I can deliver the material in 1 month. Somebody says that I need more time to make the material. Maybe I'll be delivering in 6 months. So we go back to our user and check that whether this feasibility is there with them or not. And once it is available, once they say that, okay, these one or two options are suitable to us, then we go back to the vendor and we try to bargain. So what is bargain? So gain is a profit. Gain is the increase over their cost that they are trying to make from this deal, and we are trying to bar that. We are trying to restrict that to a certain limit. Sometimes, as the same product is being sold at multiple shops or multiple vendors providing same, then we go to a different shop and then we ask that whatever price you are giving, that person is giving me 500 rupees cheaper than you. So he'll say, okay, okay, don't go. I'll reduce it to 500. So that's also a kind of trick which procurement professional use for reducing or making sure that they get the good quality product at a bare minimum price. And that's how the negotiation works.
It sounds good. Your next question is, how do you ensure compliance with organizational policy during procurement?
Yeah, yeah. So this is also a very good question. And being coming from an ethical company, a good paymaster for the vendors, we have a standard of operation. So, for example, that ISO certification, ISO 9000 or 14,000 or OSAS for occupational health and safety, these are bare minimum requirements that each one of our vendor has to comply to getting registered and being followed. There are other standards like the quality of vehicle that is entering inside the plant has a checklist. So the vendors are supposed to honor that and ensure that whatever material they are providing goes through. I mean the strict scrutiny that the vehicle quality should be good. It should not, do any damage inside the plant. So these are the other things. Lastly, at the time of ensuring when material reaches to us, there are different level of quality checks. So that there is a in-process inspection, there is incoming inspection, and there is inspection at the time of usage also. So these are the few ways by which we ensure that good quality material with ethical standards come to our premises and use.
Okay, moving on next question. What are the key metrics you use to evaluate procurement performance?
Yeah, so timely supply for critical materials is the utmost performance criteria. Once the material is supplied, then the quality check that what percentage of material of one particular vendor has been previously, accepted. So their acceptance is also fully acceptance against deviation, and then if both are not working, then rejection. So rejection is also being tracked. Then we also try to measure that how many bits the vendor is quoting, and out of those bits, how many they are actually getting the orders. So it's like the The performance is based on their price, the performance is based on their quality, and the timeliness of the delivery. That's how we do it.
Okay. Your next question is, what role does blockchain technology play in modern supply chain management?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for bringing out this question because this was also a part of my PhD journey that I was doing with XLRI, and blockchain was invariably the part which is yet to come in a big phase in India. When we talk about blockchain, most of people don't even understand what blockchain is. However, when we say that cryptocurrency, most of the people actually recognize it. So cryptocurrency is one of the application of blockchain, which is more famous than blockchain itself. So I'll explain how blockchain works. Blockchain is a series of events happening in any particular transaction, and every new data is being stored in a block. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you want to buy a house or maybe a plot, a land. You go to registry office and you check that who is the owner of this land. So legally, the registry office is the central agency responsible for registering as well as keeping the record of all the transactions related to the plot that you want to buy, isn't it? And whenever a new person want to buy that flat or the piece of land, there is a registry happening. That registry talks about this particular land, piece of land situated in this location, this geography, this longitude, and this latitude, which is currently being owned by X, is being transferred to Mr. Y at this cost, and there are people who are witness to this transaction. So once this transition is done, this transition is again being recorded in the same registrar office. Registry office takes some charges to do that, and based on that, now you are the new owner, right? This is how the transition happens. In blockchain domain, let's say I want to buy again, let's take the same example of mobile. You go to a shop, the shop belongs to, let's say, Apple. Now you want to buy that Apple mobile. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry. So let's say now you want to buy that Apple mobile and you realize that this particular mobile is sold by Apple, but actually being manufactured by Foxconn. So Foxconn is your tier one supplier of Apple. Now, when you see that this transition from Foxconn to Apple happens, then you realize that Foxconn is also not making everything on their own. Rather, Foxconn is taking this material from different sources. For example, let's say camera of Apple mobile is sourced from Samsung to Foxconn and Foxconn to Apple. Taking this further ahead, Samsung is also not making the lens of the camera. So the lens of the camera is being made by Sony. So Sony makes the lens. Those lenses are fitted into the camera which is made by Samsung. Samsung supplies those cameras to Foxconn, and then Foxconn supplies that complete assembled mobile to Apple, and then Apple supply chain comes to your city and sell that product. So what if somebody is selling a bogus product to you? You go to a shop, he says that this is Apple mobile. Everything is written Apple, Apple at the top. How will you ensure that actually the Apple is the Apple, Foxconn, Sony, and Samsung? So there comes the genuineness of the product So can we have a procurement supply chain system where forgery is not possible? So there comes a distributed trust laser mechanism. Laser is nothing but a process of documenting. When I say it is immutable, then I say that nobody can change once written thing. Like in the registrar office, something is written. If you want to make any changes, the same set of people or registrar have to go through and sign. The person who is the owner, is the legal owner of the land, has to sign. Then only the transition is revalidated. Every time you sell a property, it has to be revalidated by the same process or the same set of people. Now coming back to your answer, when I try to adopt blockchain in a supply chain, I basically enhance transparency that every person selling the product to the next person is being recorded and is available to everyone in the supply chain. I as a buyer, Apple as a seller, Apple, then Foxconn as a assembler, then Sony as a camera provider, and so everybody knows that this is the supply chain, and nobody can alter it. Nobody can change any information inside it. That's what brings transparency in the system. So the first advantage of blockchain is transparency. The second thing is when you make a transparent supply chain, it automatically becomes fraud resistant. If anybody is trying to send a lens which is not made by Sony, the fraud will be immediately detected. So it is a fraud resistant thing. The third is this is a streamlined supply chain. Let's say I want to buy, let's say my camera is not working properly. I want to buy it from Apple. If Apple is not supplying, I know that Apple purchased this camera from Samsung. I can go to Samsung and get a replacement. So this is a streamlined supply chain. Second, or maybe fourth thing is related to transparency. Sorry, I discussed about transparency. Now this is traceability. So for example of traceability is when you place an order on, let's say, Amazon, you know when your order is placed, you know when your order is being packed, you know when it is under transit, in which city it is reached now, and by what time it is likely to come to my door. So this entire availability of information is called traceability. I can trace my order post placement of the order until the receiving of the component, where and how this entire thing is being done. That is recorded in a streamlined and non-changeable manner is the benefit or example that blockchain can bring into supply chain. Now let's take a couple of examples that where blockchain is very important. So one is food industry. People want to know that the fish I am eating or maybe whatever component I am eating is genuinely sealed or not. So all the relevant information like who caught this fish, on what date, from which place, then sold to whom, then afterwards how did it reach till your plate, who was the cook, who used it, all the information will be made available alongside the dish, which you can check on your mobile that this is the fish, this was caught here, and this is how this has been traveling so far till coming to my plate. Second example is related to medicines. We don't know what medicine we are eating and what are the ingredients inside that. Let's say there is a blockchain in that medicine, we can clearly check that okay, this is the ingredients, these are the countries who have made those ingredients, these are the manufacturers who have used those ingredients to make this particular capsule, and hence this is a genuine source and my body will react in a way that the body should react. So is the case with diamonds. So diamond or maybe jewelries, nobody knows that the diamond is actually good or not. And now there are diamond testers and others, which is also, prone to, getting fooled. So these are the industries which have very likely direct implication of blockchain, and supply chain will of these domains are prone to highly getting affected in near future. Other industries like steel or others are way behind, and maybe it will take time for the technology to develop and come down till here. Maybe it was an elaborated long answer.
Okay, it's great. Can you provide an example of how you have driving continuous improvement in procurement?
Yeah. So continuous improvement. So first we need to understand that what is, let's say, improvement journey. So when we try to improve, there is a journey called we call it PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, and act. PDCA. So how does a continuous journey works? We have a process. Let's say the process is designed to deliver 100 units of output per hour, and we have a target of improving this 100 unit to 110. So we plan to increase the production from 100 to 110. So 10 is our gap. Then we plan that, okay, let's plan to increase this number from 100 to 110. And to make this 10 up, we need to do following activities. So we plan the activities first. Then we do PD. Then we implement those strategies. So we check what is the bottleneck in this process. So we try to de-bottleneck the processes which has limitation in terms of output. So then we increase the capacity of that. Then we check, plan, do, check. In the checking thing, we see that, okay, the continuous improvement, have I reached to 110 now? And while checking, we realize that, okay, we made some efforts to reach from 100 to 110, but so far we have reached to 105 only. So then PDCA, then we act. Then we act and check that what is the new bottleneck. So maybe in a process, when I realize that this particular activity is the bottleneck, we have de-bottlenecked that, then the next process becomes the bottleneck. So should I give you an example to elaborate, or am I with you?
As you wish.
Yeah, yeah. So let's take steel as an industry with an example. So while in a steel plant, we have the first thing is iron ore, the second thing is coal and other things. We make sinter out of it. Then we convert coal into coke. Then we make steel. Sorry, iron first in blast furnace. Then this iron is converted into steel. Then those steel is casted and then rolled. So the TMT in your house or the saria that you use in your house is the final product. So from iron ore till TMT, this is a five-step process. One is raw material, then steel making, then iron making, then converting that into caster, and then finally rolling and making TMT. Let's say in one particular day, my steel making process is my bottleneck. So bottleneck decides your speed of the process. So I'll give you another example which will be good for you. Let's say there are 10 students going for a picnic, and one of the student is very fat. That when the teacher says that the speed of the group remains same because everybody goes at same time, so the fatter guy who is the fat guy and he feel that I need to carry some extra food, having a heavy bag, walks the slowest. So when he is walking at the slowest speed, everybody has to match up the same speed because the team has to go together. So this is what the bottleneck is. That fat guy is the bottleneck. Then what teacher did? Teacher realized that, okay, this is a fat guy, his speed is slow, and also because he eats a lot, he is carrying a lot of food with him. So can I distribute this food to somebody else who is a lighter guy and who is a maybe a sports enthusiast and can more weight? So by removing this bottleneck, he gave it to somebody else who can lift the material and the entire group can walk faster. So this is a debottlenecking process. Then somebody else become weak. Now this fat guy is able to cope up or increase his speed, then somebody else is a weaker link now. So that is how when the blast furnace is operating at full capacity, maybe the rolling plant is a weak link. Then we again do a PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. Then we try to increase again. Then again PDCA, then again PDCA, and every time we try to find out a new bottleneck and try to debottleneck the same capacity till the time we have reached to saturation, or we have external constraint like okay, the capacity cannot be increased further. Technological reasons or government issues that government don't allow you to make further enhancement in it. That's how we continuous improvement journey we go for.
It sounds good. Next question is, how do you stay updated on market trends and changes in supplier capabilities?
Yeah. So in fact, this is also a very important question. Thanks, Rimaji, for asking this. So continuous improvement is happening everywhere. The way we are trying to improve, our vendors are also continuously improving, and they also keep innovating and giving us new products that can solve our requirement, and continuously showing that they are agile. How do we get the information? We have different sources. One of the source is technical seminars that we attend from, showcased by vendors, and trying to go and see and register, understand their knowledge, reading their news magazines, research articles, that this is the new technology that has come. So let's take example of green steel. There are different ways to reduce carbon emission. One of the way is use of maybe wood charcoal, hydrogen gas, recycled steel. So there are newsletters, there are research paper available that continuously talks about how industry is moving, what are the latest things. Sometimes we, go through the patents granted by authorities, and the new patents have better visibility, better availability, and showcase by the vendor itself. That boss, this is what we have done. This is a new thing, and this will be a beneficial thing for you. So these all trigger we use to get ourselves updated, market news, to know what's happening in the market.
Okay. Our next question is, how do you balance cost, quality, and delivery in procurement decision?
So first of all, quality is not nothing to balance. Quality is what we need. We don't need over quality product. So let's say when you need metal, or let's say when you need iron, you need iron. You don't need gold, right? So let's say I want to buy a hammer. So I'll buy a hammer of iron, not of gold. So quality should be at par, not over quality. That's the basic thing. Cost has three elements. One is bottom up costing. We try to come up with ways and means to understand that how this product is being made, what is the cost of manufacturing, plus markup for their profit and other things, and then what should be the cost of procurement to us. Thirdly, there are some products for which there are single source. Like if you want to buy Apple phone, you have to buy it from Apple. Nobody else is providing Apple phone other than Apple. Or let's say if you want to buy OS which is supplied by Apple, so you have limited options. In that scenario, the competition is not the judge or the final thing. Wherever the options are available, competition is a one way to judge. Bottom up costing is another way. Third thing is our own procurement records. That when did we purchase the material last time? What was our cost of procurement last time? What has the market or industry moved from there? What is the recession, or maybe prices have gone up, commodity pricing. So these are the factors which actually helps us decide the right pricing, right quality product.
Nice. Your next question is, in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing procurement professionals today?
Yeah, so there are two type of challenges that a procurement professional is facing. One is digital driven challenges. So the number of people which used to do one particular work is now reducing. So the productivity part have gone up, and procurement professionals are facing it as a difficulty that how many number of people should be deployed to any particular work and how this should be done. So the productivity, factoring the productivity, including the usage, is one thing that is a challenge for us. The second thing is the volatility in the market. Sometimes, because we have all gone through the COVID period, the cost of material was decided by the availability of itself. If the material is not available, the sanitizer which we used to buy maybe at 100 rupees or 50 rupees, we were buying the same sanitizer at 1000 rupees also. The cost of that pulse meter or heartbeat reader is around hardly 300 rupees. We used to buy it at 3000 rupees. So, because the availability was not there, so all these things played a crucial role that when the supply is not there, demand is high. When the demand is not there, supply is there, the prices go down. So it's simple mechanism, but because nowadays it's a global industry, global market, all these dynamics continuously change. Something which is essential right now may not be useful after some time. So these are the main challenges we are facing.
Okay, your next question is, what motivated you to pursue a PhD in Excel?
Yeah, so PhD was a conscious call. I took around 7 years to complete my PhD, although it was a course for 4 years. And I was already double masters when I took this decision. So I was polytechnic. I did polytechnic, then I did engineering. Then I worked for 2 years. Then did my first masters. Then I realized that okay, this masters in finance. Let me do another master. So I did my second masters of materials management. And later on, I realized that whatever book or whatever material we are studying is not updated. At the same time, we don't have a book if you read, it is at least 2 years old because the thought coming to a author's mind versus the publication and the book comes to you takes generally minimum 2 years of time. So, and nowadays the internet and other things have actually, Chat GPT things have made it very easily available to us. But think about 2017 when I started. I thought that to create knowledge and to understand what is the latest information happening in this area, I should keep myself updated to the latest technologies. And that's when I thought of doing a PhD course. So there are two type of PhD. One is a full-time PhD, which any graduate can do after graduation itself. Even a 4 year engineering graduate can directly take admission on PhD. If you want to do a integrated PhD after BCom or BA, you are supposed to take admission on a MBA plus PhD program. There are there are ways and means to do that. You can appear into CAT exam and SAT exam, and from there you can feel that you are interested for FPM, yet fellow in management. And this is a very, let me remind you, PhD is a very rewarding journey. If you want to do it full time, staying in campus, you will be receiving 50,000 per month stipend, which is a tax-free income. So 50,000 per month comes out to be 6 lakh rupees a year, plus accommodation is free. In some institute, food is also free. So let's talk about XLRI only. So XLRI gives you around 50,000 plus allowances for traveling and laptop allowances and all the softwares and other things are given free. International conferences you can go and attend for the free. Then you will get 50,000 a month for 4 years as a stipend amount. And Bodh Gaya does that. So this is a very lucrative option. And most of the, teenagers like you or young people of who have recently completed their, let's say, graduation, I recommend that if you are really interested on knowledge sharing and knowledge creation, PhD is a good option. Where to do PhD? Just appear in CAT, appear in ZAT, whatever institute you get. Always keep 4 5 options available, and this is a good paying job. Teachers are not very demanding in terms of number of hours you operate. Generally, in corporate, you are requested to start your day maybe at 9 in the morning and it ends around 7:30 or 8 in the night. So for teachers, it is so far comparatively less occupied. You can time your work. You want to take a class in the morning, you take in the morning. You want to take in the evening, you take in the evening. You want to design a question, you want to punish students, decide a very hard paper. Everybody is fair. You decide a very lenient paper, everybody's pass. And so PhD is a good journey, but I'm not saying that it's a easy thing and everybody can do it. But if you really are interested, this is a good venture for everybody to explore. So for me, it was not a full-time journey. It was a executive one where we have to pay some fees and then do a PhD. And while I took admission in 2017, and this was only a one-time payment sort of thing, so I thought of, delaying it as much as possible. In the process, I was learning new things, and I was not against any race that I have to finish it up and then do something else because I was working in an organization and part time I was doing PhD. So to do part time PhD, you are supposed to pay a fees to the college, and that's a one-time fees which I paid. About the journey, we are requested to at least publish one paper because I enjoy studies and teaching. So I publish 4 5 papers now. I have published, and I'm continuously doing that. That's the part of my hobby and my interest. Time.
Okay. This is your last question.
Can you explain the
Yeah.
importance of warranty negotiation in procurement?
Yeah. So warranty. So let's understand warranty and guarantee first. Warranty is something which talks about the cost of services and manufacturing defect will be covered. So let's say you have maybe a scooty or a two-wheeler you are driving. You hear some noise coming from the engine. You go to the office or maybe you go to the dealer and dealer says that there is a manufacturing defect in the engine. Something is not correct. In that scenario, they will change it free of the cost and will charge nothing from you. But warranty is something which talks about if the material is operating or the scooty is not operating as desired or as agreed upon, the 100% liability goes to the supplier and they will be replacing it without any cost. In warranty scenario, if something is done because after you receive the material or during the operation, you will be charged. It was not free. That's the basic thing. How we negotiate on guarantee and warranty is the same scenario. When we start negotiation, we see what is the best for company's application. Let's say the product I'm using is going to last for 12 months. A person is giving me a warranty of 18 months. That is useless to me because I'll any which way be replacing the product after 12 months. If a vendor is offering me 6 month warranty, then if the product fail after 6 months, I'll be at a loss. So what I negotiate is if a person is offering me 18 months warranty, I'll say I need only 12 months. You reduce the price on the behalf of 6 months of reduced warranty. If the person is giving me 6 months warranty, I push for the other way. I need the warranty to be 12 months despite increase in the cost and make this, offer comparable and then take the final decision based on that. So, Reemaj, you were also asking something in between. Pooja ji asked her question. If you have anything else, we can continue.
So, moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude. Dr. Neelesh Kumar Mishra, Senior Manager, Tata Steel, being our guest for today. At Conversation with Consultants, your presence and engagement help to make it a success. Thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much for this beautiful evening. I rather enjoyed talking with all of you, and I appreciate the SK group who is making this sincere effort for making their associates as well as people who around them to be more updated and aware about it. And happy to connect and look forward to more connections and more association with the Seeds team. Thanks a lot.
Um, Further, we could also like to thank our audience for patiently throughout the event. Thank you everyone for joining with us today and hope that everyone has gained some knowledge from this event. Looking ahead, we are excited to announce that our next episode 45 for Conversation with Consultants will be held next weekend. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again and we look to forward reconnecting with you next week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us all social media handles to stay connected with us. Goodbye and have a great ahead.